The 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council have been holding talks on a British-backed resolution that could allow military action in Syria. That meeting concluded with no sign of a vote. Any continuing talks are expected to meet further pushback from Russia and China, who strongly oppose military strikes. Meantime, Syria's representative to the UN told reporters his country was in a state of war. To help us wade through all these details, our UN correspondent Stephen Fee joins us now from New York. Stephen.
Well, Elaine, some Security Council nations are saying it's just too soon to consider a Security Council resolution, particularly because a team of UN chemical weapons inspectors are still on the ground in Syria. Now, that seems to have stymied any effort at a rapid Security Council action, at least for this week. Now, adding to the confrontation, Syria's ambassador to the UN lodged new accusations against rebel forces. He said armed terror groups had taken up chemical agents against Syrian forces at least 3 times in the last week. He also said Western nations were only serving to inflame his country's ongoing civil war. In a surprise appearance, Syria's UN envoy lashed out at the UK's attempt to bring a new resolution to the Security Council.
There is no consensus in the Council on any draft resolution, whether it is British, French or American, number one, because members in the Council, they don't believe the authenticity of the accusations provided by this delegation or that delegation.
Adding to the dueling accusations over chemical weapons use, Jafari claimed opposition forces had gassed dozens of Syrian troops over the past week. He called on UN weapons inspectors currently in the country to broaden their mission once again to investigate the new allegations. Earlier, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon said the inspection team needed at least a few more days to finish their work.
It is essential to establish the fact. A United Nations investigation team is now on the ground to do just that. Just days after the attacks, they have collected valuable samples and interviewed victims and witnesses. The team needs time to do its job.
Though Security Council action appeared increasingly unlikely, Secretary Ban said the 15-nation body needed to act.
Syria is the biggest challenge of war and peace in the world today. The body entrusted with maintaining international peace and security cannot be missing in action.
In Geneva, the UN Special Envoy for Syria said he had spoken to all stakeholders, adding that the Obama administration is not known to be trigger-happy. Nonetheless, he too said any retaliation against the Syrian regime would need the Security Council's blessing. And Elaine, really what happens next at the UN is up for debate, despite the potential threat of a veto from countries like Russia and China that in the past have vetoed resolutions meant to punish the regime of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Britain could still push for a vote at the Security Council. That would at least make public the positions of the Security Council's 15 members. But both in public and in private, it seems clear Western leaders are ready to take action, at least without a UN mandate. Elaine?
All right, Stephen Fee, live in New York. Thanks for that update.